Hello Tampa Bay and Japanese Pokemon card enthusiasts, welcome back to the Passing Binder. Today we're going to go under the microscope on this Neo Discovery Espeon, take a closer look at it, take a closer look at why it is a candidate that I have chosen. Let's start there. Let's look at the economics of this card. Actually, this is something I've kind of been neglecting to share with you guys on, and it's a big reason about why cards get chosen as grading candidates in the first place. So this is the Espeon from, as it says, the Neo Premium file, the Japanese set. If we come down here, we can see ungraded cards typically go for around $31. $35, $23, 67, 40, 30, 55. So this one's in between, anywhere in between 20 and 60 to $70. You can get a copy of this card. However, the PSA 10 on this card is $700. So you can get this card anywhere from $30 to $60 in whatever case or whatever shape it may be in. And you have the potential, if that card is in submittable shape, for it to be potentially worth $700. Grade 9 of this one's basically an all or nothing card, but I'm kind of okay with that due to the extremely low cost to acquire a copy of the card, combined with the fact that it is non-holo. This card isn't holo, so we don't have to worry about scratches in that, which are a much bigger deal, and makes cards a lot more difficult to evaluate, a lot more difficult to decide if you want to grade them or not. This just removes that from the process, which I kind of like. So that's part of the reasoning why this card is chosen. Let's take a closer look at it. So here we've got the microscope view. And as I've mentioned previously, we set the card on top of a penny sleeve, and then I'm able to manipulate it just by sliding it around. You'll notice that sometimes it'll slide off the penny sleeve a little bit, but that's not really too big of a concern. You just kind of want to make sure and keep it on there as best as you can. Now, unfortunately for our purposes, right on the first corner that we inspect here, we can see that this already is not a grading candidate. We can see there's white chipping on the edges, and we've got a decent sized white chip right there. So right away, I already know that unfortunately this card's not a 10 candidate, so there's really no point for me to submit it. However, we'll go ahead and we'll look over the whole card and see what other issues it may have. This here, we may have a slight scratch right there. As I progress to the other corner, we see that it has some of the similar style edge wear there. This is not perceptible to the naked eye. Like, you need magnification in order to be able to see these sorts of issues. So if you're going to be grading cards or interested in grading cards, I highly suggest investing in a digital microscope. Here is the fatal flaw. I saw this right when I put the card under the microscope. This one's not a holo, but we have a scratch directly in the places where we would expect one to be on a holo foil card. This is not a hair that can be removed. This is actually a scratch in the card. So, as combined with the two corner issues, we know that this one's not going to be submitted. But again, it's a learning exercise, so we'll go ahead and keep progressing through here. It looks like we may have another slight scratch above the number 26 here for the weight measurement of the Pokemon. Um, Really quick, I just want to talk about how much I love this card. The artwork is so simple, but it just accentuates Espeon so well. Like, there's the sunset up there that fades into like almost a distant tree but cloud background. Then it brings it down into the forest where it's standing on like an outcropping of a rock. I really love this card. Um, I really love that it's kind of cheap to acquire. I bought like 3 or 4 copies to do this inspection with, in the hopes that maybe one of them would turn out and be submittable. If not, I still love this card, and I definitely don't think I will have any problem flipping it or turning it back around for someone who wants a binder copy. So here it looks like we may have some more slight scratches here. Um, but they kind of actually, no, we definitely have another scratch right there. So it kind of disappears when I moved it one way, but when I bring it back in into center focus, it's barely perceptible, but it's right there. We can see running across from the corner of this kind of rock scenario here. It comes across there. So on the face of this card, we definitely have enough issues to where we wouldn't be submitting this guy. Some very minor corner wear there, some edge wear, some chipping along the bottom there. And then we progress to the other corner where in all four corners we see some of that whitening, some of that chipping. So let's take a look at the back here and see see if we see anything back here. So surprisingly enough, the back corners are fairly clean. At least the first one here, rather. If we as we move along here, we do notice a couple more things. A white spot here and a scratch here. Uh, Again, we already know that this card's not perfect. We already know that it's not going to get submitted, so he's not really picking on the thing just so much as, pointing out what you may want to take stock of when you're submitting cards. I definitely have an issue here along the corner, and then this one I can see looking at the card directly, but it's a little bit tough. I'll see if I can get it to pick up here. But there's also another white spot right in this region. Oh, right about here. So I can kind of make it out. If you guys can't, just trust me, it's definitely there. Um, so we do the same kind of scan here. It looks like we may have a little issue inside the Pokeball there. And we just continue our scan. We definitely have some scratching on that bottom side of the Pokeball there. This is where we'll go ahead and flip the card around because we're coming up against the backstop of that microscope. So in order to get the look at the bottom here, so we have a little bit of scratching in here. This corner actually looks pretty good. This one's rather clean. Maybe a little white spot in there, but nothing too crazy. Uh, as we come along the bottom edge here, this one, the corner actually looks fairly good. However, we do see a couple more small scratches in here. So this card as it is definitely has flaws. Way too many to consider it a grading candidate, but we went over some of the reasons why I would. If you're interested in purchasing this card, there's a chance that it may end up in my eBay store. If you like this sort of card examination, please consider liking the video or subscribing and following along with the next ones. I plan on doing this with many of the cards that I'm picking up, especially since I'm primarily focused on the singles level right now. It just it makes for what I find to be fun videos to make, and hopefully fun videos for you guys to watch. Hopefully we all learn something about the cards. And please tell me if there are any cards that you've seen on my videos that you would like me to go over on under the microscope sooner. I do have 20 or 30 to go over, so it will take a little time. But let me know in the comments if there are any cards that you would like to see me talk about, or maybe even have some suggestions on cards that you would like me to pick up and see me put under the microscope. Please reach out, let me know. Thanks again, Tampa Bay, for watching. I hope you all have a great weekend. Take care.